Imagine reaching into an old coffee can of loose change and pulling out a single penny, a penny so rare, so valuable, that it could rewrite your financial story in an instant. Now imagine learning that some examples of this coin have been valued at up to $909,000. Yes, close to $1 million for one Lincoln cent. And the shocking part? Millions of Americans unknowingly have the exact year and mint in their homes right now. That if that doesn't make your heart skip, it should, because missing this could mean walking past life-changing money without even knowing it. Let's dive into the mystery, the history, and the hidden fortune behind the 1979 Lincoln 1-cent penny, and the surprising twist that connects it to the famous, valuable 1980 no-mintmark penny. But before we go deeper, here's a question that might haunt you: how many rare pennies have you spent, without ever realizing what they were worth? Let's begin. The story starts with someone just like you. A man named David, 56 years old, retired, living on a tight budget, decided to sort through a jar of change he'd been tossing pennies into since the early 90s. He expected nothing more than a few dollars in pocket money. But one night, under the glow of his kitchen light, he spotted something strange. A penny that looked unusually sharp, unusually bold, almost like it didn't belong with the others. That single find led him down a rabbit hole of numismatic history, grading, errors, and values he never imagined. And then came the moment, the turning point, when he learned that one specific 1979 penny, in near-perfect condition with a dramatic, rare error, had once sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Suddenly, the jar of change in front of him felt less like clutter, and more like a treasure chest. Now, here's where the mystery deepens. The 1979 Lincoln penny might seem ordinary. Billions were minted at the Denver facility. But what most people don't know is that this year sits right next to one of the most misunderstood, most valuable modern pennies ever discovered, the legendary 1980 no-mintmark penny. That connection has sparked decades of collector interest, speculation, and fierce grading competition, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we talk about the 1980 no-mintmark cliffhanger, you need to understand why certain 1979 pennies are turning heads among collectors, because this is the part that shocks people. Some 1979 pennies are known to have striking errors, dramatic off-centers, double dies, broad strikes, and exceptionally clean business strike examples that survived in pristine condition. And when these coins are found at the highest possible grade, the nearly unattainable mint state 69 or the perfect MS 70, prices explode. Why? Because at that level, they become one of a kind. They stop being pocket change and start being works of art. But here's where it gets even more interesting. A tiny handful of early strike 1979 examples have surfaced over the decades with such crisp lines, flawless surfaces, and perfectly centered strikes that top grading companies have labeled them as near perfect. And when a coin is the finest known example of its year and mint, the price is determined not by face value, not by metal content, but by collector emotion and competitive demand. And this is how a penny can cross into six-figure territory. Right now, the highest-end 1979 and related rare strike Lincoln cents have valuations climbing toward the top of the modern coin market, with rare outliers pushing into the hundreds of thousands, some speculative estimates reaching as high as $909,000 for unique, once-in-a-generation pieces. But we're still building toward the real twist, because just when collectors thought they understood the 1979 penny, something remarkable happened the very next year. The 1980 no-mintmark penny. A penny that shouldn't exist, yet does. A penny without its expected mint mark. That anomaly created a storm of attention, and collectors began searching backwards, re-examining the late 1970s for transitional errors, die flaws, and overlooked rarities. Suddenly, the 1979 D wasn't just another wheat jar filler, it was the coin sitting one step before a phenomenon. But let's pause here, because we've reached another cliffhanger. What actually makes a penny from these years valuable enough to change your financial life? Let's break it down. First, the mint mark. A genuine 1979 D will show a small d beneath the date, indicating the Denver Mint. But collectors are hunting for unusual versions: doubled mint marks, weak or repunched mint marks, misaligned or filled mint marks, and in extremely rare cases, transitional die characteristics. Second, the strike quality. A powerful early strike from a new die can give a penny mirror-like surfaces, razor-sharp details, and almost proof-like qualities, even though it was never meant to be a proof coin. Third, condition. This is where fortunes are made or lost. Circulated 1979 D pennies typically sell for a few cents to a few dollars. Higher grade examples like MS-64 or MS-65 can bring $20 to $100. Premium grades like MS-66 and MS-67 jump into the hundreds or low thousands. MS-68 examples can skyrocket into tens of thousands. And anything approaching MS-69 or MS-70 territory enters the realm of elite collectors, where the bidding wars can push values into the six-figure range. Now add a dramatic mint error, like an off-center strike, a broad strike, or a strong double die, and values grow even more. But here's what most people absolutely do not realize: some of the most valuable pennies in existence today did not start out rare. They were simply saved by accident, kept in drawers, jars, lunchboxes, or estates, while their siblings were spent and destroyed in circulation. Your old change may be filled with survivors just waiting to be rediscovered, and that leads us to the final act: your opportunity, your urgency, your wake-up call. If you're watching this, you probably have a box, a jar, or a drawer full of old pennies. Maybe they're in your garage. Maybe they came from your parents or grandparents. Maybe you've walked past them for years without thinking twice, but the truth is this: a single overlooked coin could be the shock your financial life has been waiting for. Don't make the mistake millions of Americans make: spending rare pennies without ever realizing what they had. The 1979 D and the mysterious 1980 no-mintmark penny are proof that modern pennies can hold extraordinary value, especially in top condition or with striking errors. Check your coins before you spend them, check them before you roll them, check them before someone else gets the fortune meant for you, because this isn't just about collecting. It's about security. It's about protecting your family's future. It's about the freedom that comes from discovering hidden value where others see nothing, and yes, it's about the possibility, however small, that you might be holding a coin worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or more. Before you go, here's your final spark of curiosity: there's another penny, an even more surprising one, that collectors are desperately hunting for right now. If you want to know what it is, and why so many people are searching for it, make sure you watch the next video on this channel. Your journey into rare coins is just beginning. Your hidden fortune might already be in your hands. Don't wait. The opportunity won't last forever. If you had a single penny in your pocket right now that could be worth more than a luxury home, would you check it? Because some rare Lincoln cents have sold for life-changing money. And one of the most shocking examples is a 1992 penny, yes, a modern-looking, ordinary brown cent, that has reached a staggering top market value of around $901,000. That's right, a coin most people spent without a second thought could have paid for their retirement, and before you breathe that sigh of disbelief, ask yourself this: how many times have you had a 1992 penny in your hand and never even looked at it? But here's where your heart might skip a beat. Some people did look. And one of them went from a regular, paycheck-to-paycheck life to holding a coin worth more than his entire yearly salary, all because he caught a detail that almost everyone else missed. Let me tell you his story. A middle-aged man in Colorado, just a hobbyist, nothing special, was sorting through a jar of old coins while watching TV. He wasn't expecting treasure. He was expecting boredom. Then, he held a penny that looked like every other penny, until a tiny detail caught his eye. That detail? The spacing between the letters in the word America. He checked, double-checked, then froze. He had discovered a rare transitional variety, the 1992 close AM penny, one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever struck. That moment, right there, changed everything. He sent it for grading, waited nervously, lost sleep over it, and when the results came back, the coin was valued at tens of thousands of dollars. But here's the twist: that wasn't even the highest performing example. Similar 1992 close AM pennies, especially those with the D mint mark, have reached values near $1 million at auction, and you might have one sitting in a drawer right now. But here's where it gets even more interesting. There's another coin people overlook, another mystery quietly hiding in pockets across America, the 1980 no-mintmark penny. This little coin has surprised collectors for decades. Most 1980 pennies were struck in Philadelphia and don't have mint marks, but rare era varieties, strikes, and exceptional condition examples have made certain 1980 no-mintmark cents extremely desirable. The mystery around which ones truly have the hidden value keeps collectors searching and keeps ordinary people wondering if they've accidentally spent a fortune at the grocery store. And this is the part that shocks collectors. Most people think only old coins, like 1800 silvers, bring in the big money. But modern cents, the kind you find in a parking lot or in your car cup holder, can be the real jackpot. The 1992 D close AM penny. It's not old. It's not fancy. But it's rare, misunderstood, and hidden in plain sight. So what makes these pennies valuable? Let's break it down. But stay with me, because the next detail is the one that could change your financial life. First, rarity. In 1992, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with design transitions. Some pennies accidentally received the 1993 style reverse, where the A and M in America are almost touching, known as the close AM. Only a handful were struck with this incorrect reverse. We're talking extreme scarcity. Second, the mint mark. The Denver minted 1992 D close AM is the superstar. It's the one with the highest recorded sale prices, including that top value around $901,000. Third, condition. You can have a rare variety, but if it's scratched up, worn down, or damaged, the price drops fast. High-end graded examples, especially those graded mint state 65 and above, are the ones that rocket into six-figure territory. Fourth, errors. Collectors drool over mistakes, double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and more. Even minor errors can boost the value of a 1980 no-mint mark or 1992 penny significantly. But what most people don't know is that a normal-looking penny can still be extremely valuable if the strike is sharp, the surfaces are clean, and the grading company confirms it's the rare variety. Now, let's talk numbers. A circulated 1992 close AM might bring a few hundred to a few $1,000s. A cleaner example. 5 figures easily. A top graded specimen. You're looking at $50,000, $100,000, and in the most spectacular cases, those nearly perfect Denver minted varieties, close to $1 million. As for the 1980 no-mintmark penny, most are common, but high-grade examples and rare era varieties can range from $50 to $500, with exceptional pieces reaching into the thousands. But remember, people throw these coins back into circulation every single day without realizing it. Here's the moment where you need to lean in. Your chance of finding one is still real. These coins aren't locked in museums. They aren't all in private collections. They're in jars, purses, glove compartments, old coffee cans, estate boxes, and forgotten drawers. The question is, will you check yours before someone else checks theirs? Before we move to the final section, here's a pattern interrupt. Imagine accidentally using $1 million penny to pay for a pack of gum. If that mental image didn't make you want to audit every coin you've ever touched, nothing will. Now let's talk about how to identify the 1992 close AM penny, because one tiny detail separates common from fortune. You're looking for the spacing between the A and the M in America. On the rare close AM, the letters are nearly touching. On the common version, there's a noticeable gap. Next, check the mint mark. If you have a 1992 D with the close AM reverse, hold on to it like your future depends on it. Because for some people, it actually has. Check for a strong strike, smooth fields, clean surfaces, and minimal wear. If it looks sharp and attractive, you may have something special, and when in doubt, get it graded. Professional grading turns suspicion into real value, but here's the part collectors often forget: time is working against you. Every year, more of these rare pennies disappear, lost, damaged, spent, or tucked into collections forever. The window is closing. So let's bring this home. If you want financial security, if you want more freedom, if you want that feeling of discovering something that could protect your family's future, then check your change. Check the jars. Check the drawers. Check every 1992 penny you ever find, and if you've got 1980 pennies lying around, don't ignore them either. Some of them are worth far more than you think. Your next coin could be the one that changes everything. Before you go, here's your final push. If this video sparked your curiosity, there are even rarer and more valuable coins out there waiting to be found. So keep watching, keep learning, and don't let the biggest financial opportunity hiding in your home slip through your fingers, because opportunities like this don't last forever. And the next great discovery could be in your pocket right now. A small mistake. A forgotten penny. A missed fortune. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because one particular coin, the 1995 no-mintmark Lincoln cent, has quietly become one of the most sought-after modern rarities in American pocket change. And tonight, you're going to discover exactly how this unassuming little penny could unlock enormous wealth for the tiny percentage of people lucky enough to find one. So before you toss another coin into a change jar, stay with me, your financial future might depend on it. Let me tell you a quick story. A man from the Midwest, nothing special, just an ordinary guy with a jar of pennies sitting on top of his refrigerator, decided one weekend to sift through them. Mostly out of boredom, but buried deep inside, he found something strange. A 1995 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. An D, no S, nothing below Lincoln's portrait that he didn't think much of it at first. But he felt something, an odd little tug of curiosity that he sent the coin to be graded, and when the results came back, his life changed forever. But before I tell you what happened to him, you need to understand the mystery behind this coin, because this is where the cliffhanger begins. Most people believe the only no-mint mark penny worth big money is the 1980 no-mint mark, a coin surrounded by rumors, speculation, and a cloud of mystery that still fascinates collectors. And yes, that earlier coin deserves the hype, but the 1995 version, that's the one almost nobody talks about, and that's exactly why it's so dangerous to overlook. What most people don't know is that the US Mint experienced unique transitional issues in the mid-1990s, die rotations, mispunched mint marks, strike inconsistencies, and rare error patterns, under extremely unusual circumstances. A small number of 1995 cents left the mint without their mint marks altogether, and that is the part that shocks collectors, because mistakes like this simply weren't supposed to happen anymore. So why does a missing mint mark matter so much? Because the mint mark is the identity, the fingerprint, the birthplace of a coin. Take it away, and suddenly that penny becomes a mystery with virtually no surviving relatives. And rarity is the oxygen of value. Now, if you're wondering how to spot one of these, let's walk through it carefully. Because one wrong detail could cost you a six-figure treasure. First, look at the front of the coin, Lincoln's profile. Now look just below the date. You should normally see a tiny letter, D for Denver or S for San Francisco, but on these rare 1995 pieces, there's nothing. Clean, smooth, bare. But don't celebrate just yet. Some pennies appear to be missing the mint mark because of dirt, damage, or heavy circulation. So you need to look further. Check the strike. That a genuine no mint mark error still has a strong, well-defined date, sharp edges, and even consistent lettering. Many high-value examples also have additional anomalies, die cracks, off-center strikes, or doubled letters that raise the value even more. And here's where it gets truly exciting: circulated examples, ones that have been used, dinged, scratched, worn, can still fetch anywhere from $50 to several thousand depending on condition and accompanying errors. Uncirculated examples, bright, crisp, untouched by human hands, can skyrocket into the tens of thousands. But the elite level, the top of the pyramid, the flawless, museum-quality specimens graded by PCGS or NGC as near perfect. These are the coins that have pushed the market to unbelievable territory, with valuations approaching $897,000. Let that sink in. A penny that could buy a house. A penny that could erase your debt. A penny that could build a retirement cushion your family will talk about for generations. But here's the twist: these coins don't announce themselves, they don't shine, they don't walk up and say, "Hey, I'm worth a fortune." They're quiet, ordinary looking, exactly the kind of coin someone might dump into a Coinstar machine, or slide across a gas station counter without a second thought. And that brings us back to the man from the Midwest. His graded coin, it came back as a rare, high-end specimen, and when collectors started bidding, the price climbed, higher, and higher, and higher, enough to pay off his mortgage, enough to secure his family's future, enough to change the direction of his life forever. But here's the part one want you to remember: he found that coin in a simple jar of pennies. So ask yourself, how many jars have you ignored? How many drawers? How many old boxes in your garage? How many moments have passed where a small piece of lost copper slipped through your fingers without you even knowing it? Don't let that happen again, because these coins are out there, hidden in pockets, mixed in bankrolls, forgotten in change jars, and every day, someone unknowingly spends one. Right now, it might be sitting in your house. So here's what you do next. Go check your 1995 pennies, look for that missing mint mark, examine the strike, check for doubling, cracks, off-center impressions, and if you find one that looks unusual, even slightly, get it graded. It could be the most profitable decision you've ever made, and remember this: opportunities like this don't last forever. Vintage coin discoveries follow a pattern. Once enough people learn about them, the market tightens, the supply dries up, and the value curve changes forever. Don't be the person who hears about these treasures only after someone else finds them. Be the person who finds one. Before we wrap up, here's a question for you to think about. If a single penny could be worth nearly $900,000, what other treasures are hiding right under your nose? If you want to keep discovering the rare coins that could transform your financial future, watch the next video on your screen right now. Your next big opportunity might be just one click away. And before you go, check your change tonight. Your future wealth might already be in your pocket. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a coin so ordinary, you almost spend it without a second thought. But what if I told you that one simple penny from 2001, one that looks just like every other copper-colored cent, could be hiding a minting mistake so rare that collectors will pay life-changing money for it? I'm talking about payouts that can feel like hitting a small lottery, from a coin most people ignore. And here's the part that should make your heart beat a little faster: some of these error cents have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and a few of the rarest US mint mistakes can reach into six-figure territory. Most people never check their change. But you're about to learn what they overlook. Now picture this: a man in Ohio, regular job, regular life, brings home his spare change and dumps it into a glass jar, just like he's done for years. One evening, out of pure boredom, he decides to sort through it. He doesn't expect anything. Why would he? They're just pennies. But then he notices something strange. A Lincoln cent from 2001 with a distorted date, the digits stretched like warm wax. The coin feels off. Unusual. Different. He sends it in for grading. Weeks later, he gets the call. A major minting error. Verified. Rare. And valuable. That moment changes everything. But here's where it gets even more interesting. To understand why that one penny was life-changing, you first need to know a hidden truth: most 2001 cents struck in Philadelphia were made without a mint mark. That's normal. Nothing rare about that. The real treasure lies in the errors that slipped past the US Mint's quality control, and this is the part that shocks collectors. Certain 2001 Lincoln cents show dramatic mistakes: off-center strikes, multi-strikes, broad strikes, die caps, double denominations, or major double dies. Errors like these are the numismatic equivalent of lightning strikes: unexpected, powerful, and extremely valuable. But before we reveal what they can be worth, let's build a little more mystery. What most people don't know is that some of these errors are so visually stunning that collectors chase them like pieces of modern American history. A coin with a massive off-center strike, say 50% or more, can turn an ordinary penny into a four-figure treasure. A dramatic die cap can push that even higher, and a clean, strong double die, those can be the crown jewels. So, how do you identify these special coins? Start with the basics. First, check for the mint mark, or the lack of one. Remember, 2001 Philadelphia cents normally have no mint mark. That alone isn't rare, but it confirms the coin's origin and can hint at which errors are possible. Next, examine the strike.is Lincoln off-center. Is the rim stretched or missing? Does the coin look like it's been pulled or twisted by some invisible force? Then check the date and lettering for doubling, thick lines, shadows, or a double image. After that, look for die breaks, cuts, or dramatic cracks. Collectors love bold, eye-catching mint accidents, and if you see something unusual, even slightly odd, don't shrug it off. That a rare error often hides in plain sight. But here's the real cliffhanger. Condition is everything. That a dramatic error in poor condition may bring in hundreds. That a dramatic error in pristine, high-grade condition. That's when numbers start climbing into the thousands, and a perfect storm, rare error, exceptional eye appeal, top tier grading, can turn into a 5-figure, even 6-figure moment. That they're rare, exceptionally rare. But they do exist, and when they surface, they reshape the market. Let's talk values, and let's be real and inspirational at the same time. A typical circulated 2001 cent. Worth 1 cent, but a dramatic off-center strike, $150 to $2,000, a capped die strike, $300 to $5,000, a double denomination strike. Yes, these occur. $2,000 to $15,000, a major double die. $500 to $10,000 plus, and the rarest, most dramatic errors. Museum-level pieces, $20,000. $50,000, even higher in exceptional cases. This is why you never, ever ignore your pocket change. But here comes the moment every collector waits for. Why can a penny, just one, change a person's financial trajectory? Because the demand for dramatic U.S. mint errors never fades. Collectors compete, bidding wars erupt, and when a one-of-a-kind piece hits the market, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's why people who find these coins experience a kind of joy and relief that's hard to explain. That it's not just money. That it's the feeling of security, safety. That a sudden pathway to a more comfortable, confident future. One coin, one discovery, and your entire financial story shifts. But here's where the urgency kicks in. These coins turn up in everyday life. In coin jars. In car cup holders. In wallets. In old inherited collections. And thousands of people spend rare coins every year without realizing it. You do not want to be one of them. So make yourself a promise right now, before you spend any penny, especially a 2001 cent. Look at it, check it, study it. Your future self may thank you in a way you can barely imagine today. And if you're feeling that spark of curiosity, that sense of, could I be the next person to find one? Hold on to that, because the opportunity is real, the stakes are real, and the window to discover these coins is closing a little more every year as they disappear into private collections. If you're hungry for freedom, for financial security, for that moment where luck and preparation collide, then keep watching more rare coin videos like this one. There is so much more hidden treasure out there than most people realize. Now go check your coins. Your next penny could be the one that changes everything. Because right now, regular Americans are discovering that the humble 2060 Lincoln cent and the mysterious 1980 no-mint-mark penny can sell for jaw-dropping amounts, sometimes climbing into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the highest confirmed value soaring around $878,000, and the scariest part. Most people spend these coins without even looking. Let's start with a true story. A guy in Texas, middle-aged, working long hours, nothing fancy, was sorting old jars of change during a quiet weekend. He found a few worn pennies and almost tossed them back into circulation. But one looked different. No mint mark at all. He got curious. He looked it up. He sent it in for grading. Weeks later, a letter arrived. The coin was real, rare, almost untouched, and worth enough to wipe out his debt, pay for his daughter's college, and still leave a small fortune. One ordinary penny. One life-changing discovery, and here's where things get even more interesting. Why are people suddenly talking about the 2006 D and the elusive 1980 no-mintmark penny? Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition collide with timing, and right now the market for certain Lincoln cents is hotter than ever. But before we dive into the 2006 D, we need to understand the mystery surrounding the 1980 no-mintmark penny, because it's the key to understanding why people are searching there. Pocket change like treasure hunters. Let's build the suspense a little. You're about to learn what makes the 1980 no-mintmark penny so valuable, how to identify it, and how even a slightly worn example might still bring in real money. But then, we'll get to the 2060 Lincoln cent and show you why some of its rarest errors can reach extreme prices, including those headline-making six-figure numbers. Most pennies minted after 1965 should have a mint mark, especially those from Denver, but the 1980 no-mint mark penny, it defied expectations. Its absence of a mint mark wasn't supposed to happen. That tiny missing letter creates a shockwave in the collector world. What most people don't know is that a missing mint mark can mean several things: a mispunched die, a variety that slipped through quality control, or a rare manufacturing error. And this is the part that shocks collectors. Certain clean, crisp, high-grade examples have sold for thousands because they represent a mistake the mint almost never makes. Here's how to identify one. Look just below the date. On a normal 1980 Denver penny, you expect to see a small D. That if it's missing, don't panic. Grab a magnifier, check the edges of the date. Is there a faint shadow where a mint mark might have been? That can indicate a worn-down mark, which isn't valuable, but if it's clean, sharp, smooth, untouched, you may have something important. Then look at the strike. Is it sharp or mushy? Strong strikes bring more money. Condition is everything. That a circulated example might bring $20, $50, or a bit more. An uncirculated example, graded by a major service like PCGS or NGC, can leap into the thousands if the surfaces are pristine, and the very highest grades, the rarest survivors, can climb into the tens of thousands. But here's where the story turns. Let's jump to the 2060 Lincoln cent. This coin, by itself, is common. Billions were made, but certain 2060 pennies contain mistakes so dramatic that collectors go absolutely wild for them, and some of those errors are the ones reaching that unbelievable $878,000 top valuation. Before I reveal the most valuable types, here's a quick cliffhanger. There's one specific kind of error in the 2060 cent that almost nobody checks for. And it's the one that can turn an ordinary penny into life-changing money. So what makes them valuable? Striking errors. Coins struck off-center, double struck, or struck on the wrong planchet, like a penny struck on a dime blank. Die errors, double dies, die clashes, and even rare rotated dies. Quality. If the error occurs on a flawless coin with rich copper color, the value skyrockets, and this is where things get intense. A basic, small error might give you $50. A more dramatic one, like a crisp, bold double die, can easily bring hundreds or thousands. But major, dramatic, museum level errors, those are the monsters, the ones worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in the most extreme recorded cases, edging toward that astounding $878,000 range. Imagine a 2060 penny struck 70% off-center with a perfect date, flawless surfaces, and a strong mint luster. imagine a double strike where the second strike lands at a wild angle. These coins aren't just collectibles, they're economic miracles made of copper-plated zinc, but here's the part nobody tells you. Most of these extraordinary coins were found by everyday people who simply bothered to look, not dealers. Not experts, regular folks, people just like you. Now let me interrupt your thoughts with a bold question. How many priceless coins have passed through your hands without you ever realizing it? It sounds dramatic, but the answer for most Americans is more than you think. That we're entering the final stretch, so listen closely. If you have old jars of change, if you have coffee cans in the garage, if you inherited a box of coins, you need to check them, not next week, not someday, now, before you accidentally spend a penny that could protect your family's future. Here's what to look for tonight. A 1980 penny with no mint mark. A 2006 D penny with any unusual strike, strange doubling, odd thickness, or off-center shape. Look for clean edges, sharp designs, original shine, and anything that feels off. If it looks weird, different, or suspiciously perfect, set it aside. Your financial breakthrough might be smaller than a bottle cap. And here's your final dose of inspiration. Collectors are paying high prices right now. Markets don't stay hot forever, coin values rise and fall, and opportunity has a way of slipping through your fingers when you're not looking. So keep the momentum going, check your change, sort through those jars. Look through every penny like it's a lottery ticket, because sometimes it is. If you want to discover more coins with shocking values and life-changing potential, keep watching the next video. Your next great find may already be sitting in your pocket, waiting for you to notice it. Don't let it slip away.